The Cadet Squadron Commander, Warrant Officer First Class Cho, will be tonight's Squadron Warrant Officer. Each flight on parade will be commanded by an officer, and the cadets will be taking the second in command, also known as the Flight Sergeant position. Tonight's flight officers for each flight are Rifle Drill Team, Second Lieutenant Mar. Second flight, Lieutenant Diaz Barella. Third flight, Officer Cadet Taronish Pithawala. Fourth flight, Officer Cadet Nicole Kay. And our drum major tonight will be Flight Sergeant Wong, and our flag party commander is Flight Sergeant Lee.
Captain Richter will now hand the command over to parade over to Major Luke Persaud, the outgoing commanding officer of 110 Black Hawk Squadron. Tonight marks the end of Major Persaud's 3-year term as commanding officer, almost to the day. Major Luke Persaud recently started his 12th year of service in the Canadian Armed Forces.
Squadron, march on the flags! Flag party!
Please stand for the march on of the flags and remain standing for the general salute.
Two flags present arms! Archie. Hold. Black Archie, present. Mark. 110 Squadron, slope. Arms.
Please be seated.
Squadron General salute. Present. Arms. Squadron slope. Arms.
Sir, my name is Major Persaud, the outgoing commanding officer of 110 Black Ops Squadron. Would you like to carry on with tonight's inspection, sir?
Yes.
Thank you very much, sir.
Part of the tradition of a change of command parade is to have the incoming commanding officer share the responsibility of the inspection with tonight's reviewing officer, Colonel Retired Ted Taylor. The additional members of the reviewing party are Captain Toussi, incoming commanding officer, Miss Cecile Thompson, President of 444 Wing, Royal Canadian Air Force Association, and President of the 110 Black Hawk Squadron Sponsoring Committee. Mr. Wayne Hayes, President of the Royal Canadian Legion, Branch 614, and Mr. Cole Hayes, a former cadet from 110 Black Hawk Squadron, representing the many alumni who have served in 110 Black Hawk over the past 37 years.
Tonight's reviewing officer is Colonel Retired Ted Taylor, who is currently the liaison between the Squadron and the Aircraft League. Colonel Taylor was also a very long-time friend of 110 Black Ops Squadron, who over many years has offered assistance and guidance to both the cadets and the staff alike. Colonel Taylor, known as Ted to his friends, was born in Toronto and attended Lawrence Park Collegiate and Collegiate Militaire Royal de Saint-Jean in Quebec. He joined the Air Cadets in 1947 as a member of 188 Mosquito Squadron. He was also a member of the Army Cadets at Lawrence Park when cadet training was mandatory in Toronto high schools. He was a cadet commanding officer of 2220 Royal Canadian Army Quebec Corps. He joined the Royal Regiment in Canada in 1950 and was commissioned as an officer in 1957. In 1973, he was promoted to Lieutenant Colonel and Commanding Officer. The Royals were rated the best militia infantry regiment in Canada for 2 years in succession, in 1974 and 1975. In 1976, he served at Land Forces Central Air as a senior staff officer, training. In 1978, he was promoted to colonel and was appointed commander of Toronto's militia district.
Colonel Taylor lives in Squadron with his wife Sylvia. They have been married for 56 years, and they are the proud parents of 3 daughters. They have 4 grandsons, 3 granddaughters, and 1 great-granddaughter, Corianne, who was 1 year old on May 30th of this year. Major Luke Persaud was born in Toronto, Ontario, and at an early age demonstrated an interest in aviation. His parents took note of this and enrolled him into the Air Cadet program in 1994, where he was a member of 180 Mosquito Squadron for 3 months, before transferring to 110 Black Ops Squadron, where he spent the rest of his cadet career. In April of 2000, Luke was sworn in as a member of the Cadet Instructor Squadron, and continued working with cadets at 110. Each summer since 2000, Luke has worked closely with the Air Cadet Senior Leadership Course at Canadian Forces Base, Cold Lake, Alberta. Academically, Luke attended Seneca College's Pre-Aviation and Flight Technology program in 1999. In 2000, he enrolled in Centennial College's Avionics Maintenance course, where he graduated with honors and accreditation in 2002. In January of 2003, Luke enrolled at York University, completing an honors BA in ethics philosophy and a Bachelor of Education, primary and junior. In 2009, the Rotary Club of North Scarborough awarded Major Luke Persaud with the Paul Air Scholarship Award for his dedication to education.
Now, what you may not know is that our commanding officer has a side of his life which is not well known. Major Luke Persaud was in fact born outside Mos Eisley on the planet Tatooine after working on a moisture farm for several years. Disaster befell his space family, and as he began to understudy Obi-Wan Kenobi, in the coming weeks, Luke was instrumental in leading an unconventional mission to rescue Princess Leia. Shortly after, he earned his fighter wings as a qualified pilot on the X-Wing fighter, and assisted with the destruction of the first Death Star. Following Obi-Wan's passing, Luke was under the tutelage of Yoda, where he completed his BA in metaphysics. Recently, Luke was able to seek his biological father, and during that meeting, he was promoted to his current rank. Following the demise of the second Death Star, Luke settled back in Toronto and was recently appointed commanding officer of 110 Black Hawk Squadron. Following tonight's change of command, he will step down from the Jedi Council and continue teaching his grade 7s the way of the Force.
Squadron at 10! Shot!
Carry on the march pass.
this time, I ask that you please stand for the march past, as Major Persaud will lead the squadron in his final march past as commanding officer of 110 Black Hawk Squadron. You may be seated.
Squadron, open line down, push! Squadron, right, dress! Squadron, eyes! Front! Squadron, order! Eyes! Best ground, instruments! Best outside! Shut! Squadron, stand hands, ease! Stand, easy!
One of the most important life's lessons in the Canadian Cadet movement teaches is the sense of commitment. Not only do we ask this from the cadets in front of you, but we also expect our cadets to hold true to their commitments of education, family, and service. It is this sense of commitment, once instilled within the cadet organization, that often shines brightly in the years of their life. On special request, Major Persaud has asked that his last duty as commanding officer of 110 Black Hawk Squadron is to swear in Officer Cadet Nicole Kay as a member of Her Majesty's Armed Forces. So let's give a round of applause to Officer Cadet Nicole Kay.
That I will be faithful, bear true allegiance to Her Majesty, Queen of this country, Queen of Canada, her heirs, and successors, according to law.
Congratulations, Officer Cadet Kay. I now ask Mr. Wayne Hayes, President of 614 Branch of the Royal Canadian Legion, to come forward and make a special presentation. It is with great privilege that the staff of 110 Black Hawk Squadron nominate tonight's recipient of the Canadian Legion Medal of Excellence. Tonight's recipient surpasses the criteria for the medal: cooperation with the peers and superiors, camaraderie, promotion of goodwill and morale within the squadron, supporting and assisting squadron members, and enhancing the image of the cadets in the local community. Ladies and gentlemen, please share in our congratulations to tonight's recipient, Warrant Officer First Class Vivian Cho.
At this time, we will now commence with the change of command. Custom has established that the change of command ceremony be formal, conducted with great dignity, and designed to strengthen the respect for authority which is vital to any military organization. The change of command ceremony allows subordinates to witness the formality of command change from one officer to another, and to preserve the continuity of command and authority. We will first begin with the passing of the banner. and then Colonel Taylor and Major Persaud and Captain Toussi will sign the change of command certificate. Command is being handed over from Major Persaud to Captain Toussi. The change of command ceremony is rooted in military history, dating back to the 18th century, during the reign of Frederick the Great of Prussia. At that time, organizational flags were developed with color arrangements and symbols unique to each particular unit. To this flag and its commanders, the soldiers of the unit would dedicate their loyalty and trust. When a change of command was to take place, the flag was passed to the individual assuming the command.
Watching the parade. She's been having a good time, not disturbing anybody. I have been able to find her. She's been a good girl. In like the mom when you were. Last minute, she kept on. We'll see if she likes me.
We'll just pass it down the line.
Currently, the change of command certificates are being signed by the reviewing officer, Colonel Retired Ted Taylor, Major Luke Persaud, outgoing commanding officer, and Captain Toussi, incoming commanding officer of 110 Black Hawk.
It's funny, 16th for years.
Now that the change of command certificates have been signed, Captain Toussi, the incoming commanding officer, has relieved Major Luke Persaud as his command, and will now take his rightful place on the parade square as Squadron Commander. Please let's give a round of applause for outgoing commanding officer Major Luke Persaud. We now invite Colonel Taylor, our reviewing officer, to address the parade.
Major Persaud, Captain Toussi, members of Branch 614 of the Royal Canadian Legion, and 444 Wing of the Air Force Association, parents and friends, and air cadets of 110 Black Hawk Squadron. I think the cadets have performed extremely well on parade tonight. I like the sound of the band, and I think they all deserve a round of applause. It's an honor for me to preside over your change of command parade. It's an important occasion in the history of the squadron. It marks a transition in leadership from one commanding officer to another. This change takes place in Air Cadet squadrons every 3 or 4 years. It gives trained and capable leaders an opportunity to take on greater responsibility and bring fresh ideas that further enrich the squadron. Both Major Persaud and Captain Toussi trained as Air Cadets. Both were Squadron WO1s. Major Persaud in 110 Squadron, Captain Toussi in 166 Squadron. Both are commissioned officers in the Cadet Instructor Cadre of the Canadian Forces. Both have Bachelor of Education degrees. Major Persaud from York University, Captain Toussi from the University of Toronto. Major Persaud, on behalf of everyone here, I thank you for your hard work and dedication. You've been very successful. Under your leadership, 110 Squadron has flourished, and it's one of the best in Ontario. Captain Toussi, I congratulate you on your appointment. You're all confident you will do well as the commanding officer of 110 Black Hawk Squadron, and we wish you every success. Thank you very much.
At this point, I would like to call Major Persaud, the outgoing commanding officer, to address the parade.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for attending tonight's change of command ceremony. Tonight marks the end of my term as commanding officer of 110 Black Hawk Squadron. In varying capacities, I've participated in a half-dozen change of commands, witnessed several more, but still cannot believe that my term of 3 years has slipped by so quickly. Nor have I imagined what to say at such an event. In honesty, I've outlived most of my addresses. However, tonight's occasion, I believe a prepared one is in order. In my time as commanding officer, I realized that my checklist of things to do is still waiting for me, or rather my successor, following the parade. The theme of commitment is reflected tonight with our recognition of the hard work of our cadets. The accomplishment of any outcome is really shared by those who enrich your own life, and I'm truly grateful for those who are in mine. While students and cadets come and go each year, each of them who rise to the top and seek mentorship and guidance always affirm core values of integrity and patience. As a commanding officer, I've had tremendous warrant officers, Jason, Vivian, and Chris, who have always supported and rightfully challenged decisions in order to look out for the very best interest of everyone. To my staff, who have done more than is expected of them time and again to make sure that the squadron always grows and improves, I thank you for your years of service. To my family and friends, and most importantly my parents, thank you for continuing to share this journey with me. I often wonder if every commanding officer that has come before me, and those who will follow, will also realize that the commitment changes into a new form during their 3-year term. While there are many lessons to be learned as a commanding officer, there is one that I would like to share. I took command of this squadron, the oasis of my youth, at the same time as I began my teaching career. And both careers have complemented and complicated aspects of my personal life. The debate between time management and personal sacrifice, which somehow finds a precarious balance with mental health, is the essence of commitment as both a leader and an educator. The humbling lesson learned is to accept and be content with the to-do list, which may never be complete regardless of how much work and effort is put in. So long as you commit all your efforts you can to see through to the end, then you cannot be dissatisfied with the outcome. Dan Dillon said at every occasion that it's not your life that is short, it is your prime time, so make the most of it. None truer than the time of a commanding officer. To my successor, make the most of it. Godspeed.
Thank you, Major Persaud. Captain Toussi will now lead the squadron past as his first duty of incoming commanding officer. As a sign of respect, the outgoing commanding officer, Major Luc Persaud, will take the salute. Yes.
Will march past the Congo troops, stand and flank
I ask that you now please stand for the march past.
Please be seated. Captain Toussi will now bid farewell to the reviewing officer, Colonel Ted Taylor, retired. I ask that you please stand and remain standing for the advance and review order and general salute, and remain standing until our reviewing officer has left the parade. Thank you.
Squadron, advance and review order by the center. Quick, march.
be seated.